Rejci.
Krejci.
Yep, Jennifer.
Just Jen?
Jen or Jennifer. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's get this band on the. Let's just start playing this.
That music can only mean one thing. It's Friday morning. You're tuned into 21.6 The Net. This is Bridging Civil Tension. It's always better to have a conversation with someone who says something you may not like. Go straight to the source. This is what we do on Bridging Civil Tension. Phil Wallace, author, entrepreneur, along with Kent Jones, CEO, founder of 21.6 The Net, together and sometimes with brave guests, we discuss difficult, sometimes socially taboo. We ain't afraid to go across that bridge, but we ain't going to over it. Absolutely. And of course, if you've joined us on social media, that is the absolute brand new. Came in, we kicked it off, I don't know, sometime in the middle of the night. And hey, it is the new home of 216thenet.com.
That was smooth.
It's nice. It's nice. It's clean and it's crisp. And there we are. Look at that. Now we're back in studio. Thanks for showing up.
Dance moves, though, man.
Yeah, well, maybe just for this show.
Maybe at the end we give them just a little.
Yeah, maybe just for this show we'll do it. Of course, we want to thank our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center who help support the show. Absolutely. Natural Therapy Wellness Center. Check them out at www.mchenrymassage.com.
McHenry Massage.
All licensed massage therapists over there, so it's nice. Yeah. Sports injuries, just regular injuries. Hey, welcome back. You've been on the road,
man. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah,
it must be nice to have a private Learjet.
Not yet.
Yeah, Sal, you the dance off and twerking. That is not this show.
Yeah,
that is not this show.
Never will I ever.
Here, man.
My mama watches this show, Sal. I'm not going to be twerking on no
adjust your mic, would you? This is a radio show.
What is?
I don't know. Put it. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know what's happening.
I feel like.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
There you go. No, oh man, what's happening?
Now we're leaning. Now we're leaning.
Something's going on. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, thanks, Pete. We'll get to her.
But no, Sal, we're not going to be twerking. My mama watches the show. She watches with my grandma on those Fridays.
I'm just going to go out there and see if I can adjust that microphone for you.
Do we got it?
Oh. I don't know what's happening. It works. All right.
We're good.
Man. All right. There it is. So you'll see title of the show today, NBA takes a shot. And of course, everybody knows that purple and gold run through my veins. Absolutely, one of the biggest Lakers fans there are, and I just want to welcome everybody. This year's Laker team is the 2005 All-Star team.
It definitely is. They got everyone. Man, is there anyone that you guys didn't go get?
Jeez, Louise.
That's impressive. Hogle, my man. We were just talking about the Red Barn night.
And
great conversation. Absolutely love you, brother.
And before, because this is just, I'm throwing this out there too. Prayers and thoughts go out to Robin Bates, good friend of ours who was in a bad accident. She's doing well. We've been in contact with her. There are some surgeries that'll be happening. A couple of fractures on her spine. She's going to have her ankle probably reconstructed. A lot of swelling, some head injuries. But she's been texting us back and forth. So the concussion can't be too bad if they're allowing her to text. Right. She's in Peoria. Send your prayers and thoughts to her.
Much love to the Bates family. Amazing people. Yep. We absolutely love you guys.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
Andrew, anytime you're ready to come on the show, we would take you on the show
The highlight reel of all of our conversations.
in a minute. Yeah, thanks,
prayers up,
Andrew.
definitely.
So, so really, what we wanted to talk about, and what's really kind of been in the news lately, and has caused some civil tension.
Right.
Thus, the name of the show, bridging that civil tension, is there are companies now that are saying that you have to take this shot,
Or else.
or you can no longer be an employee of our company. One airline, I think, lost close to 600 people who said no, but 1,500 people or whatever did. The NBA now, and that's why we kind of bring it up. Big fans. You're a basketball coach. I'm a basketball coach. Andrew coaches ball. And when I say this, folks, these aren't. I mean, these two guys, Andrew and Phil, have produced professional players. I mean,
right.
That's incredible, right? So now,
crazy.
So now we've got these players who now the mandate is 100% get the COVID-19 shot, right?
Or you will not be able to. And they said that if you don't get it and you don't play, you get zero pay.
Right.
So
but I've got a contract.
I have a contract, but now
and if I'm injured, I still get paid.
If you're injured, you get paid. But if you don't have that shot, you don't get paid. And then so my question becomes that if you sign the contract that says how you'll get paid, and prior to there even being this situation where now you're forced to get the shot, how is that contract now void?
It could be breach, is what we're hearing from our HR representative officer.
The birdies are whispering in the studio. It's a breach of contract.
And that's the thing. Is it right? Is it not right? And the legality of it, I think, is being battled out. In the courts and whatnot. Is it legal? Can you not? Do you take on responsibility as the employer? We've got several small business owners who dial in to 21.6 the net and listen. What do you do? Now, I will say this: where I work, absolutely love where I work. They have not mandated that. However, if you haven't gotten it, if you leave your immediate work area, you put your mask on. Now, hold on, Pete. Don't go anywhere.
Oh.
All right, now you can go. I just switched cameras if you want to go through instead of squat.
No. Thank you.
No, thank you. No.
All right, little bird.
Yeah, there's the fairy.
Oh my God.
Now this is and if you move from floor to floor, so there's four levels of this building. So if you move from the third floor to the second, you
have your mask on.
You're strongly recommended. It's not written.
Right.
What we're trying to say is, hey Tim, good morning. We want you to be a good teammate and respect and try to, if your teammate's uncomfortable, we don't want to get in that uncomfortable conversation.
Right. And that's what our HR bird said that was also discriminatory to be able to say that unvaccinated wear a mask, vaccinated you don't have to.
I get it. Yeah.
If you're trying to be a team player, which is also leading into possibly more and more problems down the line for these companies.
Yes.
And so it's kind of a difficult conundrum because you want to protect your employees, but at the same time to force a person to get the shot.
And I think, and of course, Phil and I are not doctors.
Right.
We are big fans of Dr. J, but we are not doctors.
Yes, Dr. J.
Right.
And, well, no longer Dr. Seuss, but
go into our archives.
Go into the archives. You'll see. Unfortunately.
Right. So the interesting thing is, I think that the unfortunate thing in the world today, in America today, is that is misinformation or misleading information,
Right.
and we don't know the long term effects of anything yet because we're not in the long term effect area yet. You know.
Right.
And that's what science is. Science is wonderful. We test things, we try, we move on. But what I think a lot of people feel is that if you take that shot, right, that you win the game, that it's a cure, and everything that shot helps disappears.
Yep.
And that's not the case.
And so, from what I'm researched or heard, and feel free in the comment section to correct me if it's not correct, that even when you get the shot, it doesn't prevent completely you getting it again.
Well, no, and that's what I mean. What happens is with any type of thing, it allows your body to recognize it, to build up T cells, and then to fight it off. Our bodies are wonderful. Now, again, not a doctor, right? And in no way, shape, or form is this show saying we are for or against.
Right.
In no way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
We're not making a suggestion for one way or the other.
We're talking about the issue of employers mandating. Right. What it is designed to do is help your body recognize it and fight it, so that you have a better chance of survival if you get it, or you have a smaller chance of being hospitalized from the virus.
So
and again, I think that there's been some steering out there where people feel, hey, if I take that shot, I'm like Superman.
Yeah, and that's where you're seeing just almost acting as if things were completely back to normal just because you have the shot, and then that fear of possibly contracting is now gone, and they're just living life.
Yeah. So Sal asked, so if the person took the shot and then come down with the virus, does the entire department have to quarantine even the
shotted?
Yeah, even the people who didn't take the shot. That is always the shot have to be forced to be a work student. I know in the school setting, if there is a student who tests positive for the virus, people within like 8 feet in the classroom or whatever are their parents are notified, and they're asked to quarantine their child for, I don't know what, you'd have to ask my wife. I don't read the things. Right. But the other thing is no, missing pay, missing school. No, because now you can remote into schools. They actually have teachers now who are in charge of remote learning in school districts, and work is the same way. You're able to still work from home. Which is good, and you can work remotely that way. At my place of employment, the owners are just absolutely top shelf human beings who care about their employees. Yes, they want to, drive the bottom line. That's what you do when you own a business. But that's interesting. Yeah, and Andrew says, hey, District 300 kids cannot remote in. See, that's interesting because District 200 can. Yeah. So that would be something you would want to take up then with your
local district,
with your district, right?
School board,
and whatnot. So the idea of it, in the NBA, you know what? If I'm an NBA player, I'm okay with that because the NBA is physical. It used to be physical, right? I mean, we're sweating. It doesn't matter. We're yelling. You're spitting. I mean, it just happens. You go to a bar or whatever, it's loud. You're spitting. I mean, I'm elbowing. I get a bloody nose. I mean, bodily fluids are transferred on a basketball court.
Right.
And I'm okay with that in that essence, because Phil, if it lessens my chance of going to the hospital or missing games or whatever, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I guess like if I got to the level of like professional athlete, especially some like the ones that are in the news or the Kyries and Brad Beal.
Yep.
If I've worked my way to being a top athlete in that field, you know my name if you know this sport type of player. I've checked every other box that I'm supposed to, except for this new box that just popped up a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And if I don't, now I'm forced to check it, and if I don't, that's millions. I no longer receive.
Right,
I've done everything else I'm supposed to.
But let's go back with the and let's stay let's stay with the NBA for a minute. You remember, Allen Iverson came in, and they had to change the dress code.
Yeah.
We don't want you looking like a thug. You got to come in with a shirt and tie now.
Talking about practice.
All right. So the league that your employer, the league,
right,
or the players' union, whatever the case, said, yeah, we don't want you showing up in sweatpants and hoodies anymore.
And chains dangling.
Yep, we want you to represent our brand by showing up in a suit, by showing up in a
right.
And then you got your brothers like Westbrook, also an LA Laker, who fashions out, wherever he goes.
One of those was suspicious about this. Say that.
Several problems. So the interesting thing is, right?
We'll just leave it at fashion out, though.
So the interesting thing is, I think, is that you've allowed some other mandates,
right,
as players. Why is this different then?
True. I guess I have more, like, for instance, when we went to Coastal, we got to Coastal, we got our scholarships to Coastal. We got to right before season, and the coach says no facial hair. If you want to play, no facial hair. That wasn't part of our scholarship, but that's how this coach rocked. All right, well, I'm gonna have to shave. There's no possible health consequences to me shaving this off for game day.
Correct.
Now the fear then becomes, I get from the other side of it, if the person was against getting the shot, is that now you're forcing me that if something goes wrong, you guys made me do this.
Yeah.
And now blank is the consequence.
Yeah, now I'm all cut up or got razor bumps.
Right. I'm saying, as far as like the shot goes, the concern is more long-term health problems from
which we don't know because we're not in that area.
Yeah, we don't know, but like this will grow back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh
yeah. He told me to cut my braids one time.
Never came off. Right. So and I understand that, right? However, I can also say the sample of NBA players are probably in the top 5% healthiest. I mean, these guys are in good condition, good shape. They're ripped, they're healthy. They got chefs who cook for them.
Training,
they aren't the fat radio guy who goes, yeah, I'll go play a pickup game at Marion. You know what I mean?
Hey man, there's some good runs at Marion, man.
There are some good runs at Marion. Yeah,
don't do that.
But you understand what I'm saying? So you have these guys who are probably the healthiest. Even the NFL. Those 300-400 pound linemen are healthier than me.
Race against some of those linemen.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. They're healthier. They're in a lot better shape than I am. So the chances of long term might be less if there is such a long term, right. and we're not saying that there is because we don't know. We're not there yet.
Right.
Right. That's my opinion. Right. So you've allowed them to dictate or mandate some certain things that you felt that you could go along with. Yeah. Right. Now, again, unless you're a rookie, if you've been in the league for a couple of years, you should maybe have a nice bank account set up. Especially if you've
premier player.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So I do have that set up. However, if I don't do this year, that's $20 million.
Yeah.
that no longer hits my account. I don't care what your nest egg looks like. You still know that you missed out on $20 million off of something that wasn't in your original contract.
Yeah.
And so then it's the breach of contract because
right but then we go into what is the players union saying? If the players union has voted for it and saying, hey, this is what it is, and we agree, now it's not just your employer, but it's also your
peers. Your peers are saying this is what you're doing.
Right. And then it's your choice, right? I guess it's your choice if I want to play or I don't want to play.
I want to play. That's why I'm here.
Right.
So then do you go to a lesser league?
Yeah. Do you go over? Do you go to Japan? Do you go to Australia? Do you go over to Europe?
But then you're settling for at most like maybe 2.
I don't know. What's his name? Andrew, help me out. Used to be a point guard for the Knicks. Went over to Japan and played for years.
Little guy?
Yeah.
You talking about Nate Robinson?
No. Before him, even.
Starks? No.
After Starks. God, I can see him too.
Stefan? Wait.
Yeah.
He's got...
Yeah, Marbury. Yeah.
Stephon Marbury. Yeah, he had
Marbury.
A great career over there.
Yes, I knew Andrew would get it. Right, so he went over
there. Of course, Andrew got it.
Right,
That's why we love
he
him.
went over there and he made good money because of his name over there.
He also had the Starberry shoe line and all the other clothing stuff that helped his bank account on top of his NBA contract.
What was that from something in Berries? He had him over at.
Oh, in the mall in Spring Hill.
Yeah, that was a killer. Oh,
man, they had great deals over there.
There was. It was. Yeah, I've got my Starberry shoes on right now. That does not. Yeah, no, not Speedwell. I think he's a
Spreewell.
Spreewell's a bouncer up in Milwaukee now. Oh, it doesn't even look like him. Yeah, he bounces up in Milwaukee. Yeah. Choked out. Anyway. Anyway. So as we talk about this with your employer, okay, what would you do if you worked for somebody? Well, now you kind of do, right?
Kind of do.
So what if they say, "Hey, man,"
that'd be an interesting conversation with the family right there. I still don't know if I would.
All right. So here's. So I went and I got a card that says that I am 100% vaccinated.
Okay.
Because I do have a card that I can show people, right? And I decided to get that card when it was my choice instead of my employer or whoever to say you have to. I don't like ever being forced into anything. That's just who I am. But I my family and I, prayed about it. We talked about it, and decided, okay, this is if one of us, we're all going down. So if something happens, we're going down as a family. Right?
Or Doyle rules.
Yeah, right. Bring it back to the average Joe that can lose their $50,000 a year with little savings, and that's okay. Listen, when you go to work for somebody, a lot of times you sign some paper saying, "All right, I'll represent the company.
Right.
I'm not going to defame it. I'm not going to go on Facebook and blast it. Whatever. I mean, there are some things that you sign that says okay." What I'm saying is, you had a choice to go work for them. The average Joe that can lose $50,000 a year, you can find someplace else that perhaps isn't mandating to make your $50,000.
True, but like for some people, if I've been with this company for 30 years or 20 years, whatever, and if I'm not, a spring chicken,
you're gonna get replaced by a spring chicken. So
it might be a little harder. It might be a little harder to find new employment later on.
Oh, and it is. I mean, there is no age discrimination in hiring.
Right? I worked in staffing. Yes, there is.
That's what I'm talking
I'll say it. Yes, there is.
Right?
So then you run that risk that wouldn't have been a problem
I totally get it, and those are the tough things. But the other thing is, I've seen people leave companies because of the philosophies of management as well.
Right.
I've seen. So here it is, another philosophy of management. 600 people for United Airlines said, you know what,
I'm not going.
sayonara. We'll deal with this, right?
Right.
And that is your choice to do. Okay. Now those 600 people didn't wake up in the same breath this morning or this week sometime going, you know what, I think I'm going to leave my job. Right. And there's the dilemma. They woke up on Monday going, gotta go, fuel up the jets or do whatever. And I love it. Okay, kids, we'll see you after school, to come home and go, well, I guess I'm done.
Done.
What are you going to do, honey? I don't know.
Got to figure it. Yeah. And to go with what Sal was saying, I know a friend personally who it wasn't even a heads up.
Yeah.
Went to do the shift and they had changed policy. Mm-hmm. And now you're sent home for this next week and a half. And to what he's saying, if you don't have savings and you're no longer going to get paid during this time off, what do you do?
Yeah. So, I mean, let's take it back to something. Let's get out of the NBA. Let's get out of jobs. Colleges are saying you need to take the shot or you get tested weekly. So you're getting the swab up the nose every week.
That just is an uncomfortable feeling.
And they got people at the door.
Every week?
Every week. Just to go get your education, which, by the way, you're paying for. Now what twist does that put in there?
That's, again, if it made sure that I 100% would not get the, then I'm maybe. But if it still has that risk of, and you're mandated, I am very cautious when I see things go from optional to I'm making you. Like you said, it just doesn't sit right with me as a person. You're gonna do this because I said so. Has never worked in my direction.
It's a very hard topic, and there's so much misinformation out there.
Right.
On both sides, right?
And for and against. Yeah.
And really what here's a question that I will ask, and feel free to chime in on this, people. Let's rewind to when it was maybe February of 2020. Okay. And this pandemic started.
Right.
Okay. If it was not a political pandemic, would things be different today with what we know, how it's treated, and whatnot, right? Because it came, and people that have a D in front of their name said, I would never, ever this quickly, especially if the man that sits in that chair says we have to. Well, now the man left the chair. And now new man comes in and says
the same thing.
Yeah, I have to. And now the people with the D, the people before, when the first man was in a chair, was like, yeah. Now the people are like, oh no, and the people who were like absolutely not, like yeah. And the sad thing about where we're at in this world today, in America today, is that it's not a health issue. It has become a political issue, right? And it's not a political thing, right? It is truly a health thing. It's a virus. There are other viruses in the world, and the virus will continue to mutate. And the shot helps you, lessens your chance of dying, or lessens your chance of being put in the ICU, right? And then that's where we have to do a lot of research, and scientists still. I had coffee this morning with a scientist from Baxter, And, you know,
What type of life do you live, man?
isn't it amazing?
Who says stuff like that?
Yeah.
I had coffee today with a scientist.
Still working on it. Okay.
That's awesome.
He's a scientist at Baxter. And really, the way the body works is your antibodies are going to spike and decline, spike and decline. The common cold, we're just going to use the common cold. Your body knows how to fight that off. And so you could come in contact with the common cold, your body fights it off, you're asymptomatic, nothing happens, you don't even get a runny nose, but your antibodies spike because it fought off that virus. And so there are times where our antibodies spike, and there's times where then it goes down, right? So it very well could, whether you have taken the shot or you have not taken the shot, you and I have both battled the virus,
right?
And we won. If that's fair to say, mine was about 14 days. Yours was close to the same, right?
Right.
I mean, it was not good for either one of us, right? But now our body has those T cells and antibodies, so you could walk through a cloud of it, and your antibodies will spike, and you won't know. That's just science. It's the way your body works. If someone who has a card that says they have taken the shot could walk through the same cloud, and the same thing happens. My antibodies will spike,
right?
And I may not ever know that, that I did.
Yeah, or in danger.
Yeah. So, geez.
5 weeks. What'd you have? Like, what are the symptoms?
They do things bigger in Texas. Man, yeah. So 14 days. So 5. I mean, that's harsh, right? So the shot is not a cure. We have to understand that.
Right.
It is not a cure. It will not make it go away. But what has to happen is you have to understand the science. You know what? Stop watching TikTok to get your education.
There's some really informational TikToks.
There is, though, and I love TikTok. But what you want to start doing, perhaps,
I will never admit that again, though.
Right? What you might want to start doing, perhaps, is do what you used to do in school. Let me research this. Let me look into this. And because science is science, things are improving. Things are getting better. We're learning more. We understand things better, and that's what we have to do. But in order for a company, and I'll speak of my company here, DDOE Enterprises, if I were to mandate every show host to take the shot, I also have to be ready for any legal repercussions that may have. So, in other words, let's say that I mandated it and you have to take it, and it kills you.
Right.
Okay. Because of an allergic reaction. I don't know.
Right.
Again, I'm not a doctor. This is a hypothetical question. Okay. I have to be now ready for any legal repercussions that'll come from your estate, your family,
right?
Because you needed this job, right? Right. So because it was a mandate, right? Because I said for your right to be employed here, boom, right? Yeah, I don't think we're out of the woods on the legal side of things. That's why the owners of where I work they're brilliant. They said we're not. We hope we don't have to mandate it. We're not going to. We're going to try not to.
Right.
Here's what we highly recommend. Think of your teammates. Think of your family. Think it through, and just know here are the procedures to help everyone be comfortable while we're at work.
Right. And like the little birdie said earlier, on the flip side, because of things like that, you're might gonna have a wave of countersuits.
Yep.
From employees to or even families of the employees against the companies if things do take a turn for the worse.
Let's be honest. I mean, could one of the listeners out there who is a lawyer, because we know we have a lot of lawyers who listen into this, let's be honest. There are lawyers and out there right now going like this. Yeah, boy. You see the billboards everywhere.
Right.
Injured at work? Oh.
Give me a call.
Right?
We will get you paid.
And then the next billboard is, Urlacher with wig on or whatever, right?
That's a big dude, man. We saw him in Phoenix for
He is
the
big.
Kurt Warner experience.
He's still a big guy.
His
Oh,
neck
yeah.
was still just...
He looks funny with hair. That's why. And Brian, thanks. Thanks for taking it wholeheartedly. But come on in. We'd love to have you on the bridge.
like an athletic Tom Hanks. But
we'd love to have you on the bridge.
yes.
So where do you go? Where do you stand? I think they're the first professional sport to make the mandate.
Right.
100%.
And I get it. Like, if I am LeBron, do I want to be taken out because Joe Blow, 8th on the bench, didn't want to get vaccinated? Now he's guarding me. Now I, as superstar, have my life in danger, my health at risk, because Joe Blow, who's 8th on the bench for the worst team in the NBA, is guarding me for 15 minutes just because.
Right.
And now I have it. No, I don't want that. So I get that side too.
Right.
As we said, we're not one way or the other. It's just
right.
The mandate thing. Just
so it's a weird thing. As we look, we got shown that natural immunity is far better at stopping the virus. And again, that's what that's what science is all about, is trying to figure out
best option, best approach.
Exactly what works, how it works, but it takes time, and the world had to move quickly to try to figure it out.
Right.
And that's okay. And again, we're not for, we're not against.
Right.
We're just saying that, what's been in the news lately are all these businesses who are starting to say,
or else
can't work for me. Right. Mavericks are mandating fans attending game to either take the shot or test negative 48 hours before game time. Before game time, is it or wearing a mask or just and wearing a mask?
Right.
So, and that's pretty typical for a lot of places where it's going to be hard to social distance.
I feel like they're going to lose a lot of fans if every time before you have a game, 48 hours before.
Well, but let's stop right there. The last 2 years, they didn't play in front of fans.
Oh, I'm saying if they're trying to get back attendance, then you're gonna go.
Well, as an owner, you want that stadium full.
That's what I'm saying. So you're making it harder for people to get there all the time because how many times like, hey, I got tickets to this game. Do you want to go? Well, I can't.
I mean, if I've got to pay Phil's $155 million contract, I need to put people in those seats.
I like that. Do that. Make that contract,
right? I mean, that's the truth, right? I mean, we're blessed every show with I'd have to look at the numbers, but 700 some thousand. I mean, we fill the stadium on every show.
There we go.
700 some thousand listeners. Y'all, whether you take the shot or not, doesn't matter to me. Listen,
tune in,
keep listening.
Before you listen, you gotta provide
show us
proof of
right. Everyone must wear a mask. And we're learning at a lot of places are mandating that. I mean, I worked I worked the tickets at the Rise Up Foundation, which was absolutely fantastic and fantastically. Tim, one of our listeners, had a huge part in putting that together for the local McHenry, the city, to raise money for the splash pad. And it was just a fantastic event. It was outside, quote unquote. It was. I don't know why I air quoted that. It was outside. But
outside.
Right, yeah. But it was an open air event of 3,000, 4,000 people the first night, 6,000 to 8,000 the second night. And because it was outside, people were not they didn't have spots on the ground for 6 feet apart with 8,000 people, but very few people were masked up.
Lake Fest, Lake.
Yeah. So it is what it is. If you're comfortable, you're comfortable, and that's your choice. Again, I mean, here's the funny part. You're gonna like this. I'm just gonna go down this rabbit hole for a minute. So I'm sitting there in the group. I'm sitting there in the Groupon. I'm scanning Groupon tickets.
Right.
And so they're showing them on your phone. Like, here you go. You scan it. And so when there weren't a lot of people, this guy walks up and I'm like, "Are you vaccinated?" And he's like, "Yeah, got both." I go, "What arm?" And he goes, "This one over here." I said, "Roll up your sleeve." The guy rolls up his sleeve. I take the scanner and I scan it over his shoulder and go beep with my mouth. Then I look back at the computer screen and go, "Okay,
you're good. You're good." It's like, what?
I was just like, what in the world just happened? And he didn't question me or anything. Yeah,
just went with it. Here we go. Yeah, right. Yeah, we're good.
And then I'm like, beep. Did it with my mouth. It was absolutely hilarious. And I'm just like, what in the world? But he was like, "Cool, man. What? I could have been stoned. I have no idea. I really don't know." Which is interesting, right? So, the fantastic thing is it's still your choice. It's your body.
Right.
You're not going to get the vaccine for my health. You're going to get it for yours, right? And again, I think that's where this whole thing kind of went wrong. Is instead of making it a health issue, attacking it as such, it was a political issue.
Right.
To tear down and build up and whatever.
Divide and
so now it's a fight instead of being a smart conversation. It's that us against them, right? So very, very, very interesting. I mean, Tobin says that for the first 11 months he was driving Lyft and Uber down in the Tampa area, I think, and masks were required of many people I gave rides to. Were positive for COVID. I was tested biweekly negative the entire time. In March, I had an antibodies test, and it came back that I have strong antibodies against COVID. No thanks to taking the shot or not.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our bodies are meant to heal. It's, and see, the thing is awesome. That's exciting to me. Right. And that's the way your body's supposed to work. The unfortunate thing now is that in those cases, we got the D's and the R's and the this and the that'll push you. Oh, well, you don't know how long. Shut up, right? What we're really saying is, Sal, what if the guy in the line would have pulled his pants down? I still would have scanned it.
Hold on.
Got it in my bum.
Go, there you go.
Yeah, no. Which is great. That's right. Beep. So Andrew says, Kent, you have the vaccine. Do you feel comfortable never wearing a mask? Here's how I'll answer that. Yes, absolutely. I also felt comfortable never wearing a mask when I didn't have the vaccine. Okay. I feel uncomfortable wearing. I mean, we all wear masks, right? Just what is yours? Is the question.
It's a big mustache.
It is a big mustache. So I mean, I may not be the right guy to ask that, because I felt very comfortable, and I still do. Now, here's what I enjoy about the facial coverings is the close talk spitters. Hit your face or whatever, and you try not to be like, "Oh, thanks, Bob.
Oh man,
appreciate that." Right. So now that stops that, which is really cool for me.
So many chamber meetings have.
Yeah.
They're social, and you got to come down to, bro, really.
So and here's what I tell people, Phil.
Right, great answer.
Here's what I tell people, and I want everybody to understand this: is that I don't I don't put my faith in man. I don't put my faith in science. I put my faith in the Lord. So guess what?
Come on.
If the Lord calls me home because I took the shot, if the Lord calls me home because I step in front of a train, whatever. Listen, to die is to be with Him. To live is to live for Him. So there you go. That's where I stand wholeheartedly. I ain't afraid of it.
That's why he's a deacon right there.
There
That's
it is.
my kid.
There it is.
Bars for the Lord.
Yeah, Andrew's a high risk person. I want to spend time with you.
On person. He wants to be on you.
Jobs. It is. Yep. The masks is to help protect you.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not having to smell the fellow man as well is good.
Because some of y'all be smelling like, oh no.
Yeah.
Deep concentrated.
Oh,
shame.
Well,
how did you get this bad?
I mean, if we were to take a look at that, here's they become fashion statements. My grandmother has made them. Here you go, honey. We made these out of grandpa's old pajamas, whatever. And
We got Laylos masks.
Laylos, yeah. So that's cool. It's your job to protect yourself. But you got to be smart. That's why I say we have to be able to understand. We have to be able to, and we've talked about this on other shows. I have to appreciate you want to wear the mask. Wear the mask. I'm not going to think ill of you. Right now, let's rewind to 2018. If you'd have walked in here with a surgical mask on, I'd be like, you need to see a therapist.
For the first couple of months, my mom kept trying to tell me to wear a mask. I'm like, I live in Crystal Lake. I'm not putting a mask on to walk into a store. It's a 6'5" black dude. You trying to get me killed, lady? No. I didn't hang up on her, but I was like, I'm not taking his advice.
That's right. Right now, my business partner, Pete, he's got a welding mask over there.
Oh,
yeah. It doesn't. Just says facial covering. You just drop that welding mask on and away you go. Go shopping at Walmart, right? So, but that's not what this show is about. And of course, we're not doctors, we're not scientists. We're two guys who talk about issues that perhaps a lot of people want to fight about or yell at each other about. And that's where we're at. And so we both coach basketball. I used to love the NBA when it was a little better product, and LeBron, if you're listening, you want to come in and debate that with me, I'll gladly have you on, brother. Whatever you need. Magic, if you're listening,
please,
let me know.
Yeah, Magic.
But here's the stance is, again, we're going to go back to, you have to or you can't work here. What do you do? Now, you own your own businesses, right? But we have to, or you can't work here. You walk? It's a hard question for you as an entrepreneur. Because you're like, hey, I'll just go create another business. Right?
That's kind of the,
right.
Because I guess we got here because of, in one way, shape, or form, someone saying, do it or else.
Right.
And that didn't sit right with us.
Right.
All right, well, I'm going to do this so that I don't have to do that as much.
Yeah.
So I think that, okay, well, if I can't, for example, this is not real life. If it was like, if you can't coach here unless you get the vaccine, okay, I could still train on my own.
Yeah.
And make more money training than just coaching for the season. I actually, know how skills work.
That's right.
Make more money over here and doing it this way and not have to do that. It's unfortunate. But if that's, I don't feel that I should be made to do that or else. That's my only option. Still would be love. Still, when I see you guys, but I'm not a make me person.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. That's that's a whole different show. And check out my YouTube channel.
Kent wears a leather mask with a zipper around. What type of stuff are y'all into, man?
Never mind the rubber ball that I bite down on.
Wow.
Too much? Yeah. Check out my YouTube station.
See, the thing is, I have an imagination, and I can't unsee that now.
Oh, what is that? OnlyFans. I got an OnlyFans page. Check it out. Nothing like letting the great white out.
Man.
That's a
great man.
Oh, so do I have to wear a mask to come by? No,
that's on
nope,
you, brother.
Bro, that's up to you. If you're comfortable, that's fine. We can always social distance. We'd love to have you in. Don't wear a mask. We want to see the true you.
I see your true
Dang, you
color.
just rolled out true colors.
Come on,
Right.
Andrew.
So at some point, you have to go. If that's being mandated by my employer,
Right.
I have to look at my family. If I have a family,
Right.
it's not just me anymore. All right, and that's where you play the if then what, right? If I leave, then what? Okay, and another big issue right now is do I put it on my resume? And to that, I would say you never have before. You didn't put on there,
Vaccinated.
hey, I got my smallpox vaccine,
Right.
and I
Flu
had my
shots.
chickenpox vaccine, and I also have the polio vaccine. I'm hireable. What? You didn't put it on before? Who cares?
But at the same time, you know there are people out there who, when they see that box is checked,
Yeah.
or that it is there, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, good. You're one of us.
Oh yeah, come on in, fella.
Come on in, brother.
You're one of us. So
Come to the table."
So now our
We got Buffalo Ranch
is there segregation now happening with those who have taken the shot and those who have not or choose not to?
Such a strong word, but I do see a division being built as far as like if you want to participate here, you have to. If you want to come to the game, if you want to travel, if you want to work, if you want your education, if you want to do the things that you want, if you want to go to certain concerts they're talking about that you're going to have to show, it's getting more and more so that if you want to participate, you got to be in the cool kids club.
But if I want to drive an automobile, I need to have a driver's license.
You do, but if you want to drive an automobile, you do need a license. But like, I feel like this is a new rule, though.
And let's be honest. And I chatted with Lisa after her show on Sunday. I'm like, listen, if I ain't got a driver's license, guess who's the safest driver on the damn road? The dude who doesn't want to get caught without a driver's license.
Exactly.
Right.
Speed limits. Complete stops.
Right? Yeah. Absolutely.
10 and 2 the entire time.
Yeah, and you know, Tobin makes a great point. We can pack a football stadium with 70,000 people, and they don't have to wear masks, but 30 kids in a classroom have to wear a mask. And listen, I ain't got a problem with that either, because them kids are snotty and germy and gross.
Yeah, they're
right. Even if there wasn't a pandemic, they should have masks.
But they all went, like in Chicago, They all went to Lollapalooza, and then they can't go to Loyola. That just for a name. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, Nate says, last night at bowling, the owner came up and said to him, "Just so you know, someone tested positive. Just needed to let everyone know." My instant response was, "Tested positive for what?" Yeah, gonorrhea. Yeah. There's sheeps everywhere. Absolutely.
Tested positive
For what? Right. So
Tom lived a wild life,
yeah.
And he was into some crazy things late at nights. Love the ladies.
Yeah, that's not a cold sore. The real deal is, right, you have here in America, you still have your freedom to make a choice.
Right.
So you have to then ask yourself, okay, they're saying this. And we'll use the airline for example. I throw people's luggage on a trolley and then throw it in the belly of the plane, and I make $70,000 a year doing that. We've created a lifestyle on that income. If I decide not to, where can I make that kind of money? Throwing luggage, because that's what I know. Right. So I have to say that I have to have a strong conversation with my wife, my kids, and whatnot. Right. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming in. Gotcha. You could just play it in your ear. Keep it in your earbud.
Always a
They'll never know.
pleasure. Yeah, just still listen
They'll
to
never know.
us.
He's a realtor now, right?
We
So
will
he
be
can-
appropriate the entire time, so you won't bust out laughing spontaneously
That's right.
for any reason. It's safe here.
herpes. Yeah. So I think, and it's tough, and it's not fair, but at the same time, it's if I'm the owner of the company, it's my company. I can make the rules. You got to play by my rules, because at any time, as the owner of the company, I can come up to you and go, you know what, Phil, we don't need you anymore. Why? Because that's what I decided. Especially in the state of Illinois, right to work. I can just let you go for any apparent reason. You're done.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So, and you wouldn't have planned that at all either. Right. So now what? Well, then I can get unemployment, and if I quit, well, no, they're probably going to have some unemployment possibilities. I would guess. I don't know. Again, not an attorney,
All companies are going to be different, right? They might have different packages for their employees.
Yep.
How they do it.
If they're part of the union, then now you're going. There's you've got union representatives, whatever, right? I imagine with the airline, they're part of the union. So I think at this point, I think a lot of businesses are seeing what they can and cannot get away with. I guess is a way for me to say that. Time will tell. Again, I've never lived through a pandemic of this size. Right. In America. So I that's what we're learning. I think we all have to, we all have to be patient with each other. We all have to understand where each other are at. And when it comes to being a team player, do you take one for the team, or do you say, okay, is there a different way that I can support the team? How does this work? And there's no, to me, there's no clear answer.
Yeah.
There's not, because you're going to talk to people like you, Phil. You're going to talk to people like me. Who says, okay, I'll just go find a different stream of income. We'll figure this out, right?
And we didn't even touch on the people who can't, who are in the situation where health-wise they can't. Like Andrew, said he can't because he's healthy.
Right, but I can't speak on that because I haven't read enough about what these businesses who are mandating it, if they're I know where I work, there's a few who cannot,
right,
and there's no pushback against them from anybody, But again, they put their facial coverings on if they leave their immediate work area.
Yeah, we have people in the program and relatives who that's their situation, and when she coaches, she's got the mask on the entire time because that's how she feels safer. A family member who works in the medical field can't get the vaccine but works remote.
Right.
But everyone else has to get it's mandatory.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough thing for me to. It's hard for me to say because I haven't been put in that situation either yet. I probably would have retired from the NBA a few years ago. I wouldn't be like Tom Brady at 52, still playing ball.
That would be so awesome to see.
But yeah,
you as a Tom Brady aged Jason Kidd point guard out there. I see you as a Jason Kidd.
Yeah. No, I do need a reason to fire somebody at the right to work. He came in late 2 minutes. There's my reason.
That's my reason.
And that's all that I need.
And it's happened 3 times. So
that's all that I need. It would be something simple and petty, and we know that people have. Doesn't mean that he can't get, unemployment. He probably still can. So the whole idea is
we're not saying there's a right or wrong. We just want people to be more compassionate or understanding for either side.
With the NBA, you've gone through 2 years of lost revenue, huge revenue loss, right? Playing in the first level, you couldn't have fans in there. It's just that there was a lot of revenue lost, right? So, at the same time, do you want to be slinging peanuts and Pepsi around people without masks on?
Not in those numbers, you don't.
Right.
You got to be honest about being a worker there.
Yep.
And you're taking people's money. They're in your face taking orders for concession stand stuff.
Yeah.
None of y'all have a mask on. That's a lot of opportunity to be.
I mean, let's go back. Jeez, is it time already? Holy
yes,
cow.
sir.
But when Magic came out and said, "Yep, I'm going to play," and I've got HIV, people wouldn't play against him.
Right.
You can't catch it from playing
defense.
Basketball, right?
Not from defense.
But we didn't know at that time.
Yeah.
Right. And now you get a little blood on you. Still, I mean, we can go in the UFC and bleed all over each other, but in the NBA, you got a little blood on your shirt, you got to change your jersey
immediately.
I don't know, right? So there are things. We got to continue to talk about it. That's what Bridging Civil Tension is all about: is bringing up these topics, talking about it, not necessarily getting to answers, but listen to each other's side,
right
or wrong. And we have to be very, very careful with how we present this, because we're playing it out on YouTube and Facebook, which YouTube came out and said, hey, any false information now will be
pulled off.
That channel will be shut down. So we're very, very careful on the debate as we're out on social media,
right?
Because we got other shows that don't talk about this thing, so we don't want our channel to be taken care of. But what I will say is this, folks, is check out this brand new website of ours. Get caught in the net, 216 the net, brand new, www.216thenet.com. Check it out. We got to get out of here because right now we've got our good friends, the Success Journey podcast. We love you all. Thanks. Come back. And Andrew, have a great meeting.
Love you guys.
Let me just play us out. That's good.